another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah, and this is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. This is a very special episode because it is episode 50. Can you believe it? That means it has been almost 2 years since I started this podcast. That blows my mind. I cannot believe we have already gotten to episode 50. Recording every 2 weeks, that is bound to take a while. So I am really excited, and we are going to do something special for this episode that I don't normally do, which you will find out about in a minute. You have to stick around. If you are a new viewer, welcome. I'm so glad you've come to spend some crafty time with me and with this community. If you are a returning viewer, of course you are the best. Thank you so much for coming back, and I hope that you like this episode. So before we jump into anything, I just want to say if you are looking for me anywhere on the interweb, you can find me as The Cozy Cottage Crochet on Instagram, Facebook. It's The Cozy Cottage on Ravelry, but you will find links to all of this directly down below in the drop down. There is also a podcast group for this. What am I saying? There is a group for this podcast in Ravelry, which there is a direct link down to below as well, and that is where we have all of our crochet alongs and make alongs, etc. What else? If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything to say about the podcast specifically, please shoot me an email. That is the best way to get a hold of me. I have an email address dedicated specifically to this podcast. It does normally take me a little bit of time to get back to you, but if you shoot me an email, that guarantees that I will at least see your message and be able to respond. So you can email me at thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. Do you guys have your tea? I have some green tea. And I have a Ricola, which I just threw on the coffee table. My allergies are kicking butt, you guys. So I have some tea, I have some cough drops, just in case this stops working, and we will do what we can. So grab your tea and let's get started. What am I wearing? I have not worn this in quite a while, actually, and the minute I put it on, I realized why. Because it's a little bit itchy, and I think it's because I have an alpaca sensitivity, and I didn't really realize that until I made this shawl. This is the Leaf Lines Shawlette by Aparna Rolf. It is a free pattern on Ravelry. It calls for fingering weight yarn, but I made it in 100% lace weight alpaca yarn that Knit Picks alpaca lace, I believe, that I got on sale. I think this is the colorway Rose, but as you can see, it kind of looks like a leaf. It has all these front posts, and on the back side it's completely smooth. So I really love this pattern. It also has beading, which you can barely see. Oh, you can see it a little bit. The beading took forever. I had never done, first of all, a lace shawl when I made this, and I had never done any crochet beading. So it took forever, and I loved it. And then I put it on and I was like, oh no, it's a little itchy. Not because the yarn itself is itchy, but because I have a little bit of a sensitivity to alpaca. So it is not very warm outside today. I mean, it's not hot, but it's like overcast and kind of like dreary. So because I'm not overheated, I think I'll be able to wear this the whole time. It's a problem. And now that I've taken it off and on again, there is fuzz flying around everywhere. So, you know, if I start sneezing uncontrollably, it's the trials of being around yarn all day, you guys. But I do highly recommend this pattern. It is beautifully written. I had zero questions when I was working it up, and it was completely free. So it's the Leaf Line Shawlette. You can find it on Ravelry, and I have actually considered making another one in fingering weight yarn. When will that happen? Who knows? You guys know I can't even keep up with the stuff I have started. I also want to say we have a wonderful crochet along, make along, knit along, weave along. We're calling it a make along because every craft is included. It is called the Spread the Warmth Mal or make along. I will put the hashtag down below on the screen. This make along is going to run until the end of April, so you still have about a month to join in. As of right now, I hope I counted correctly. I was kind of counting on my phone, so this number may be off a little bit, but as of the time that I sat down to record this episode, there are 74 finished objects in the finished objects thread, and that is a total of 68 posts, including the very first one that I made. If you made knitted knockers, a pair of them, I counted that as one finished object because they're of course going together. Most people don't need just one, but I don't know, maybe I should count them as two. So the reason we are doing the Spread the Warmth make-along is because last year around this time we did a charity make-along, and I think that this is going to be a tradition that we do every year. I love being able to give back. I know we are part of the crafting community, and it's just the best thing that we get to do is to spread the warmth. So last year we did the knitted knockers cowl, where we made knitted and crocheted prosthetic breasts for people who have been suffering from breast cancer and have had a mastectomy, either one or a double mastectomy. So this year we have kind of expanded this theme, where the only rule to join this make-along is that you have to make something yourself and give it away. Spread the warmth. So you can knit it, you can crochet it, you can weave, spin, sew, I don't know, embroider, cross-stitch, latch hook, whatever you want to do. As long as you are making it for someone else and spreading the warmth. Because I think that that's really, really important. And we have had crochet alongs where we focus on ourselves, and some of you guys need to focus on yourselves, okay? It is not a problem to make something for yourself and be a little selfish, but a lot of us also only make things for ourselves. And so we should be spreading the warmth, because there's nothing like giving a handmade item to someone and just seeing the look of joy on their face. Now, that doesn't mean you have to give them like the fanciest wool made item ever if they're not going to take care of it, but you know, like a hat for a baby in a hospital, knitted knockers, there are so many wonderful ways to contribute and spread the warmth, literally with yarn and things to keep you cozy. Or you can make it just for a friend. I'm going to be making a shawl. I need to wind up the yarn. But I'm going to be making a Just Feel Better shawl for a friend who has been just going through a tough time, and I think that she would really, really appreciate having a handmade item, knowing that it came from me and that I put all these positive thoughts and energy and prayers into it when I was making it. So I have set a goal for the entire make-along. I don't know if we can do this, but I think that we can, because there are already 74 items and we still have a month to go. I would love it, if we could get to 300 finished objects, because I will be turning 30 at the end of April. And I just think, like, what better way to celebrate getting old than by giving back to the community. So I'll be making some stuff. I know a lot of you guys have made the cotton candy slouch, and that just fills my heart with so much joy. There will be so many prizes, you guys, and this is the way I've decided to do the prizes. There will definitely be at least one prize each for Instagram and the chatter thread, probably two for the chatter thread. And for the finished objects thread, what I'm going to do is for every 50 entries, there will be another prize added. So right now there's 68 posts in there. That means there's one finished objects prize. The minute it gets to 100 posts, 2 prizes. 150, 3 prizes. So no matter how many posts there are, it could be like, if there's 300 posts, that's 6 prizes out of the finished objects thread. And I have some amazing prizes stashed in that room behind the wall because of the generosity of some of the most wonderful viewers in the world. You guys are the best. So I haven't put the prize packages together yet. They're, like I said, in the room behind me. But I will have those to show you probably in 2 podcast episodes from now. But just keep that in mind. The more you make, the more prizes there will be. And I am so excited. I did mail off every single prize to the winners of the Love Your Stash Cowl, which were 8 prizes total. You should have gotten them by now unless you live out of the country. So it's possible that I mailed 1 to Canada and 1 to Europe. So those may not have gotten there yet. But everyone else in the United States has received their prize already. I will say, I don't know what I was doing, but I completely forgot to put tea in any of the prizes. What is wrong with me? Here I am drinking tea every day of my life. Did I remember to put tea in the prizes? No. There was also no wrapping. I kind of just shoved the prizes in a bag and took them to the post office and just mailed them. I'm sorry that it wasn't beautiful. It was either get them to the post office that day and make sure that they get in the mail, or wait. And I didn't want to wait. I wanted you guys to have your prizes. So if you are participating in the Spread the Warmth Mal, use the hashtag on Instagram. Like I said, there'll be a prize from there. Post as much as you can in the finished objects thread, in the chatter thread. I don't care if you split your things. So if you make 2 hats, make 2 posts, because that will get us closer to having even more prizes for that. And I have loved seeing everything that you guys have been making so far. It's just the best. So, as this is episode 50, what I am going to do, which is different than what I normally do, is we are going to talk about what's in my WIP basket. And you probably have noticed this pile right here. It actually goes, I'm going to try and pick it up without spilling everything in a second. We'll see how this goes. However, basically, normally the format of this podcast is I'll talk about finished objects if there are any, then I'll talk about works in progress, then maybe I'll talk about sewing if there was any. Spoiler alert, there was not. And then I'll talk about happy mail and things like that. But today we're gonna kind of smush this all into one, and we're just gonna pull things out of this basket that maybe you have never seen before. We are gonna get to the bottom of this WIP basket. I am not a person who has works in progress hiding in a room somewhere. They are all in this by the couch, and it is threatening to take over the world. So we're gonna see if there's anything in here that can be frogged. We're finished. Oh my goodness. This is really heavy. If you saw it, the basket did say, let it snow. I got this basket, maybe at like Home Goods or something like that. Like maybe a year ago or something like that. I just needed a place for my WIPs because they were taking over the couch. So now they're in this giant basket next to the couch and they are exploding out of it. So we're just gonna pull things out and I will tell you as much as I can about the project. Hopefully there's nothing in there that I've completely forgotten about. I can guarantee you there's plenty of stuff in there that I have not even started. Ooh, there's one project in there that literally has been not touched for over a year. Over a year, you guys. I need that project bag back. I think I need to frog it. So are you ready for this? I'm calling this episode What's in My WIP Basket, but really it should be titled like UFO sightings, unfinished object sightings, or maybe like Area 51. I kind of wanted to do this at the beginning of the year, but of course everything was crazy and nothing happened like that. So whatever, we're gonna do it at the end of March. Okay? Okay. Let's get started. First bag. This bag is kind of like a plasticky fabric shopping bag. It says Mon Chéri. It's like chevrons on the back. I got this bag from, I think it was Shutterfly or like one of those places that basically it was like you get this bag for free and you can pick whatever you want if you pay $6 in shipping. And I was like, I know you're still making money off of me because it's only gonna cost like $1 or $2 to ship, but I love this bag. And from the minute I got this bag, yarn was living in it. And I am finally making some progress. So you have actually seen this project before. It's been probably a month since I've shown it to you, but I do have some progress to show you. So let's see if I can find the front page. Sorry for all the rustling. It is the Stark Cardigan by Catchy and the Squid. It is a paid for pattern. I purchased the ebook that is like all of her, like not all of them, but several of her cardigans. And this is the first one I have made out of that. This is the yarn. So this is Isaac Mizrahi craft yarn in the colorway. Let's see. This is Betty, this red, and this is Beetle. And I have had this yarn for almost 2 years, pretty much the entire time I've been podcasting. A viewer sent me like a link basically to a website that was clearancing this yarn out. It is 50% acrylic and 50% merino wool. It's non-superwash. Normally this yarn was like, gosh, I don't know, $6 or $7 per 85 gram skein. So these are not 100 grams, they're 85 grams, but they were $1 each. So I was like, well, I have to buy it. What am I gonna make with it? I have no idea, but I can't pass up $1 a ball. So I ordered online 9 balls because that's really all they had. I got 5 balls of the blue and 4 balls of the red, and it sat in my yarn closet forever. And then finally, I was like, you know what? This has got to become the Stark Cardigan. So, I think you guys have seen this last time. This is the back panel. that little stitch marker is a cat. You probably can't see because it's so shiny. This is the back panel, so that was completely done. And then I have some exciting news because both of the front panels are now complete. So the only thing I have left to do is the shawl collar. And I'm not sure where I was on this the last time. I don't think I had started the shawl collars on either of them. I don't know. So this is the left front panel, and you can see that the shawl collar is a little bit of a different texture. This stitch marker is a sheepy. So yeah, it basically, the way you do it is this shawl collar goes up and around, so once you sew it together, it joins this one to go around the back of your neck. Isn't that cool? So I've also finished this panel, and that's just like a jewel stitch marker. So yeah, this is 11 rows of front loop only alternating stitches, which, so it took me a while, and there's like 120 something, no, 140 stitches maybe in these shawl collars. And if you are a knitter and you do button bands, you know that those things take forever. So I'm really excited to have those finished. I do now have to figure out what I am going to do with the sleeves, because of course this is a striped cardigan and it's made from the bottom up, and sleeves and me don't always get along. I have short arms. So I'm wondering, I don't think I have enough. This is how much yarn I have left in the blue. I don't think I have enough to make 2 full sleeves out of this, because this is 85 grams and this is probably, I don't know, 60 maybe. I don't think that's going to be enough for 2 full sleeves. So I'm not going to make them in a solid color. I need to stripe them, but the question is, am I going to stripe them, just work a sleeve from the bottom up and see what happens? Or should I re-engineer it to work it from the top down and try to match the stripes? I don't know. I almost started to think about it last night, but I was brain dead, so it didn't work. And I need to sit down and have a good think and read the pattern and like really look at the schematic, if there even is one, and the measurements, and decide. So this is one giant project that I started as part of the Love Your Stash Cowl, because that yarn has been in my stash for almost 2 years. Next, oh, I haven't touched this. This is a bag that I made for myself out of a tea towel that I got in Ireland when my husband and I went. There is a design living in here. It is possibly going to be called the Tunisian Zen, and I think I'm pretty sure you guys saw this last time. It has not grown even a single stitch. Oh, that's upside down. So it's just this pattern, and it's kind of got a subtle diamond pattern in Tunisian crochet. I love it. I love it, but I haven't touched it. It's been real crazy, y'all. Real crazy. This is Life in the Long Grass Studio yarn, and it's beautiful. And I love it so much, but as this is supposed to be like a mindfulness meditation type project, I really have not been in the brain space to sit down and give it any time. And you know what? That's fine. Everything does not have to be done immediately, okay? This can be a long-term project, and whenever the pattern gets released, it's gonna be great, okay? So I'm not judging myself right now. Okay. Next. Oh, this is a finished object, and I am a bad podcaster because I don't have it to show you. So this is a beautiful project bag, a dodgy bag, if you will, made by Allie of the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. And you can even see I have a dodgy bag button on it. And then her little pin says, "You are a little drop of wonderful." What was in here was the fingerless gloves that I showed you guys last time. I finished them, blocked them, washed them, gave them to the person who ordered them from me because they were a commission. Did I take a single photo? No, I did not. So they look exactly like these gloves. They're just one repeat shorter, and I have made them before, so if you go to my Ravelry page, you will see a project page with these gloves already on it. The yarn that I used for that is Patton's Croy Sock in the colorway Gray Marl. This is what it looks like. I really like this yarn for those socks. This is a 75-25 wool nylon blend, and I would say it uses about a ball and a half maybe of this yarn. So yeah, I actually need to clean this project bag out because there's no longer a project in it, just some yarn. So I'm gonna put this in a different pile. What else? Okay, so have you guys seen that this has not even like gone down at all? This may be a long episode. Buckle up. This project bag was made for me quite a long time ago by Rebecca of Tree Frog Yarn on Instagram. And it has Happiness is Crochet, which is all of the pins that look like this are from my dear friend Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast. She makes the most amazing pins, and I will link to her shop down below, and you can check out all of her pins and buttons. They're so inexpensive, and they're the best. And then this was a gift from a lovely podcast viewer. I believe you can get this pin. I'm not sure if you can still get it, but she got it from Expression Fiber Arts. And it's like, got a girl with a little short haircut and like yarn balls as a hat. It's amazing. What is living in here is the Quatro cable cowl, which is a pattern by Brittany, who is Crochetland by Brittany. And this was a pattern test that I was supposed to have done at the end of February. It's a month later. Do I have it done? No. Of course, I did submit my notes. And you guys know I'm not great at deadlines. I'm just not. The point of having me pattern test is not because I will finish your project. It's because I'm very thorough in my notes. And I did submit those. So I am making this out of, my poor ball is collapsing. This is Red Heart with Love in the colorway Papaya. It's 100% acrylic. You get 170 grams, 315 yards. This yarn had also been in my stash since before I started podcasting. So I would say at least 3 years this yarn has been in my stash. And I decided it needed to become this beautiful cowl. So this is how much I have done. I was just gonna kind of keep working on it until I ran out of yarn. So I'm not sure how long that's gonna be. I may measure. I would like it to wrap around my neck twice. I don't want it to just be once. So this is the cable pattern. It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm definitely going to finish this. And the color, as you can tell, I love pink. The color is everything. And it's using stash yarn. I am using Gu. What size is this? 5.5 millimeter red lace needles for this. I'm glad I pulled this out. I want to get back to this because what I was doing was doing one repeat a day, and then I went out of town, and then it fell off the wagon in all of my projects, not just this one. Like, I have so little progress. So that is what's living in this one. We'll put it over there. Sorry I keep taking sips and interrupting the flow of the podcast, but allergies, you guys. If you hear a bunch of noises, my brother just went into, he's getting ready to leave for work this morning. My husband is working right over there. He works from home. And then my brother's girlfriend and their beautiful 7-week-old baby went out this morning. They're probably going to come back at some point. Will I stop the video? Probably not. This is real life. I have to record today. It's totally fine. Just deal with a little ambient background noise and it'll be completely fine. Okay. This is a beautiful little Kathkistan like Christmas ornament bag that Charlie of the Love Charlie Crochet podcast and blog gave me last year for Christmas. Not last year, 2018, last year, 2017. And what is in here is yarn that has not even been wound up yet. So this actually will be wound up hopefully today. I need to sit down and do this. So it's these 3. And what I am going to do, this is going to become a Just Feel Better shawl. This is the one I was talking about for my friend who has just been going through a tough time. And Kalisha of the Quirky Monday Craft Cast YouTube channel, podcast. I should just say Quirky Monday Craft podcast. What am I saying? You guys know that I love her and she's the best, and I'm going to leave a link directly to her podcast down below because if you're not watching it, why not? She's the best. Hi, Kalisha. Anyways, that was very rambly. This is going to become her pattern, which is the Just Feel Better shawl. It's like a granny shawl, granny stitch shawl, but it starts and it kind of grows out this way, and it's gonna be beautiful. So these 2 skeins of yarn I got at like a de-stash sale at my local yarn store, which is Stash, a place for yarn. They are both Ella Ray lace merino. Now they say that they were, let's see, I think that they were like 30 bucks each originally, but because they were part of a de-stash, I only paid $12. I don't know what the colorways are because they just say numbers. Like this blue one's 132 and this one is color 2. So they're both 100% merino. I was originally possibly going to design a shawl with these, but I don't think these had been in someone's stash for a really long time, and I feel like this yarn may not be easily accessible to a lot of people, and they're beautiful, and I think they're her colors. And then I'm going to pair it with this Rowan yarn that actually Kalisha sent me and gave me. This is 100 grams of merino, mohair, nylon, and silk. Ooh, fancy. It doesn't say the percentages. Oh yes, it does. 45% merino, 20% mohair, 25% nylon, and 10% silk. That is so fancy. So I think it's gonna grow. This is gonna be the first color, and then this color, and then this color, and then I'm gonna kind of fade them together. I think it'll be perfect. So I do need to sit down and wind up that yarn. That is gonna be probably a pretty quick project, even though it's fingering weight yarn, because it's granny stitch. So I'm gonna put that over here because I need to wind the yarn. Oh, you'll know what's in this bag if you were here last time. This is a bag from Slipped Stitch Studios. It is one of 2 Slipped Stitch Studios sock bags that I have. I love it. Knitting llama corn. And this is the sock that shall not be named, Volde sock, as was coined by Kalisha. It has had some progress because it has been the only thing that I have taken with me to work in my backpack. So if I've had a few moments, I've worked on this sock. And this, last time you saw it, it was about here. Now it's all the way there. It's still not quite up to the heel. I do not like this yarn. It's Barocco socks. It splits constantly. I feel like it's growing on me a little bit. Like originally I kind of hated how the colors was working up, but I don't know, it's growing on me a little bit. This is the first sock. This is sock number 2. Just the yarn is such a pain. I know I'll wear these when they're done, but I don't like working on it. So it's just been living in my backpack, and that's where it's going to go back to, so that eventually it will be done, and then I can use that bag for something nice. Ooh, okay, so in this bag is just yarn because I have a finished object to show you. And it was almost finished the last time you saw it. It is a design, and it is using Red Heart with Love Chunky. Let's see. This is the colorway Pewter. This is white, shockingly. You get 171 yards for 141 grams of this yarn. And I am thrilled to say that this is completely done. It is my Winterhold shawl. I can't even get it all in the frame. I'm gonna do this. All my ends are woven in. It's been washed and blocked and thrown. I threw it in the washer and the dryer because it's Red Heart and you can, and now it is like the most squishy, drapey, amazing thing. And the pattern has been written up and sent off to testers as of like 2 days ago. So I should have this back in a few weeks, and then I will go off for tech editing, and then you will be able to have it. I am very, very, very excited about that. As you can see, it's stripes, and the ways that the stripes are done are kind of unique. So on the back side, you can see that they're a little bit different than the front side. So when you hold it this way, it's blowing out the white. But If you can hear background noise, my brother just left to go to work and my husband just acted like a monkey behind the camera and is trying to distract me from very important work that I'm doing right now. Anyways, the stripe sequence kind of goes like this, and you can see it has this extremely like squishy, fluffy texture. My brother forgot something. He's coming back in. So, what am I even saying? I don't know. But basically this pattern will be released probably in about 3 weeks time. So not by the next podcast episode, but in between the next one and the one after that. So in the next month, this will be released. I am very excited. It is the squishiest. It's so easy. It uses one stitch the entire time, and it's just a triangle shawl. And because you work it up in bulky weight yarn, it goes really, really, really fast. So I need to clean out this project bag too, because the yarn no longer needs to be living in there. Winterhold. Oh, and if you weren't here last time, the inspiration for this Winterhold shawl is from Skyrim. There is a college in a tiny town called Winterhold in the game, and it's on top of a mountain, and the cold will actually drain your health points if you're not dressed appropriately. And this is like the heaviest, squishiest, coziest giant shawl, and that's why you would need it in Winterhold. Oh, I just almost ripped my shawl off my neck. Next, this is a beautiful bag that was sent to me by Kalisha. This is the Hannah Talks About Kalisha show, of course. Living in here is some yarn that is caked up but has not been started yet. I actually caked it up before I went out of town, and it is looking a little worse for the wear. But this is for a pair of socks, and if I weren't working on the ridiculous socks, this would have already been started probably. So where is, oh, you know what? I'm like, where is the, here. It was a sock set by Hugh Loco and the Grocery Girls. I don't know which one it is, so I'm not sure which colorways it is. I'm sure, I know some of you told me which one this is, but now I don't remember and I didn't write it down. Silly. But it will be a beautiful sock. And I'm thinking of actually, I've only been making shorty socks, and I've been doing the fish lips kiss heel, but I think I may actually do a heel flap and gusset and like a full tall sock and use as much of this yarn as possible. It's so beautiful. I had grand delusions before I went away that I would have 3 pairs of socks done while I was gone. No, get out of here. So that is a sock waiting to be started. Should I make piles of projects that are like half started, waiting to be started, bags that need to be cleared out? Maybe I should separate them. Okay. What's in this? I legitimately don't remember. This is a bag that was made for me by Claudia of Crochet Luna, and of course that pin was by her as well. And, oh, so inside I have 2 beautiful cakes of yarn. This is by Leah of Sheep Happens Yarn, and I purchased this from her a while ago. And actually what happened was I caked this up to start a design. I thought that I had it worked out in my head, and when I sat down to crochet it, I literally spent like 2 weeks trying to make it work, and I could not make what was in my head come out of my head, so I frogged it. So this still may become a design, but not at this particular moment. So I probably need to clean out this project bag and put that yarn back in my stash and let it ruminate there for a little while longer until I figure out when it needs to be done. Let's see. Oh, this is my other sock bag from Slip Stitch Studios. And in here, actually, you guys have seen this already, and no progress has been made. So I have 1 sock. This is also the Hugh Loco and Grocery Girls yarn. 2 socks. You might notice these are different. 1 sock, 2 sock. Pink sock, blue sock. I have a blue sock that is ready for the heel to be put in, and I have not started the pink sock yet. So last time I showed this off, it was exactly in the same place, because the only sock I have been working on is the one that I hate to work on. So as soon as that sock is done, I'm sure these will be done, and I'll have another pair or 2. Let's see what this is. Okay, so clearly there is yarn in here that is much too big for the project bag. It is a skein of Bernat velvet. It's very tangly. And a ball of Bernat velvet, because this was also going to be a design and I did not like what it turned out to be. Not because of the yarn. This yarn is kind of amazing actually. It's so soft and fuzzy. This is the colorway Velvet Teal. And if you buy one of these skeins, you get 315 yards for 300 grams. But it didn't work. The design that I had in mind didn't work particularly for this yarn. So it's just been living in a project bag. This also needs to go back in my stash until I figure out what to do with it, because my WIP basket overfloweth. And clearly, I don't even know why I shoved it in here, because this yarn doesn't even fit in this project bag. Ridiculous. This also is a bag by Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast. It says, nobody puts crochet in a corner. What's in here? I don't know. Oh yes, I do. Sorry for the rustling. This yarn hasn't even come out of the plastic yet. I do need to start this right away, actually. I need to start this today. This is for a commission. You can see this beautiful forest green. This is Knit Picks Stroll Fingering in the colorway Aurora Heather. It looks black from back here, but it's a beautiful green. So I have 3 50-gram balls at 75/25 merino nylon. This is going to become a pine forest cowl that the same person who ordered the gloves from me ordered a pine forest cowl, and the yarn finally came in and I promptly stuck it in a bag and forgot about it. So I am going to put that next to the yarn that needs to be wound up today so that I can get started on that, because that actually I need to get done and give to her. We have some random notebooks, because well, of course. Ooh, this is a sweater. This bag is from Faye of the Crochet Circle podcast and Knit It, Hook It, Craft It. This is waxed canvas and Harris tweed. I love this bag so much. What is living in here is a Tunisian crochet sweater project. This is the soft gray cardigan, which is by Cat Golden. I am using Bluette Gems 100% merino yarn in the colorway Eggplant. It's a worsted weight yarn. I don't think I'm gonna have enough to finish the sweater, but we'll see how far I get. I have officially finished one whole sleeve. So I did actually, this is my stitch marker of where I was last time I showed it to you guys, so I've only did this much, but I feel like that was progress because the last 2 weeks before that I didn't even touch this, and I've actually bound off the sleeve, fastened off. You can see my favorite stitch marker of all time. It's a little head wig that I got at Platform 9 3/4 in London. So I have finished one sleeve. I will need to do the second sleeve, and then actually this might fit really well. I was kind of concerned about it being too long, but I think it's fine. I'm making the large size instead of the medium, which would normally fit me, because this is really thick, heavy fabric, and so it's going to be more like a coat than a cardigan on me. So I'm making the large so it'll go over a t-shirt and like a long sleeve t-shirt or something. So I need to make an entire another sleeve, and then I will be able to start on the body. I mean, I guess I could start on the body now, but why? So it's made bottom up, and then it's made like kind of a knitted sweater from a bottom up raglan, where you join the sleeves once you get to a certain point, and then you close up the yoke up top, and then you sew the sleeves underneath. If you're a knitter, you'll know what I'm talking about. Not a lot of crochet sweaters are made like this, but it's an interesting construction, and I am okay with this being a long-term WIP. The yarn wants to be only Tunisian crochet, 100%. It doesn't want to be anything else. I tried to force it into some other projects, and every time I got frogged, it wants to be this. So honestly, even if I don't love the finished project, although I don't see why I wouldn't, but it may just be too heavy to wear in Florida, I'm gonna enjoy making it, and like even if I just sit down and do a row or two, it really makes me happy. Okay, we still got projects, although I can pick this up now, so that's a bonus. What is in here? Oh, I know what's in here. This is also a bag by Kalisha of the Quirky Monday Craftcast. This is a design that I stopped working on. So this is yarn that I got when I was in Ireland. It's Malabrigo Anniversario. Of course, it's 100% superwash wool. This is a DK, I believe. Oh, it doesn't say if it's, I think it's DK, because it's got 335 yards for 100 grams, so that's about a DK weight. This was a hat design. It still is a hat design called the November Sky beanie. And I got to like right here, and then I stopped. For what reason? I don't know. I was probably overwhelmed by thinking about the crown decreases and didn't have the brain space to do it, and so I just put it away. I really need to finish this because it is gorgeous. You can't, I may have picked the wrong yarn for the pattern. I have some orange Sheep Happens yarn left over from a previous design that I may remake this in once I have the decreases worked out. But if I get close, you can see, oh, like right there, there are these rows of kind of like downward pointing diamonds. There, now you can see. So the colorway is beautiful. The yarn is beautiful. I need to just take some time, sit down, work out how I want the crown to decrease, and then remake the hat because it's been so long. And then release this pattern because I really, really love it. So it's a good thing that I went through my WIPs today, because that reminds me that I need to work on this. Here is another design. This one is actually completely done. I just need to sit down and write the pattern out, which is why this has not been removed from its project bag. And also I have not woven in the 4 ends or blocked it. This is my Lake of 9 shawl out of Knit Crate Vitalana in the Pumpernickel? No, that can't be the colorway. Does it start with a P? Papaya? Pimento. That's what it is, pimento. It's a 70% wool, 20% silk, 10% cashmere yarn. It's beautiful. And if I hold it this way, you can totally see why it's called the Lake of 9, because there's like Roman numeral number 9s. This is inspired by the God of War video game. So it is a 3-point shawl that kind of increases and decreases. As I said, the whole thing is completely done. I just need to weave in the ends and block. Maybe I can do that this weekend. I'll put that next to the yarn that needs to be wound up. And then I need to sit down and write up the pattern. The reason that this pattern has not been written up is because I have been really busy, but also because I know it's going to take a little bit of work to kind of convey what I'm trying to say about the way you do the Roman numerals. So that's fine though. It's fine. It's totally fine. Here is a project bag that has not surfaced in a while. This I got from Elizabeth of the Crochet Cakes podcast. And on here, I have 2 crochet Luna pins. Is that upside down? Yes. These are her enamel pins that she made before she started doing buttons. In here is a shawl that I haven't touched in quite a long time, and I'm not going to frog. I just can't bear the thought of frogging it because every time I look at it, I love it. I just like don't know when I'm gonna get it finished. It is the shawl, let me find the pattern. The Wisteria Trellis shawl by Joanne Grace. It is in the Shawl Project Book 3. I am using this green yarn, which is Indigo Dragonfly in the colorway Big Ben, the British Peanut. It's a 63% merino, 20% cashmere, 17% silk. And then the yarn that I'm going to pair it with is Knit Picks Gloss Fingering in gray. Colorway Hawk. That's a 70% merino, 30% silk. So I thought that they would go together pretty well. The only thing is this pattern requires concentration, like hardcore. Like I just cannot memorize this pattern. The last time you saw it, it was about this long. It's beautiful. Since then I have done one entire repeat, because this is a stitch marker. One repeat. So this is what it looks like. It's gorgeous. I'm not gonna frog it, but I just don't know when I'm going to work on it. When life slows down, that's never gonna happen. We have, I think, 3 more projects in this basket. This is a bag that has clearly seen better days because it's all wrinkly. It has been smushed for a long time. This is actually a knitting, I made this bag myself. This is a knitting project. It is the, let's see if I can find the front. My pattern is all out of order. Well, here's what the shawl looks like. What is it called? I don't even remember. I haven't worked on it in so long. Oh, the Transition Shawl by Hand Knit by Cam. I saw this pattern on the Noble Character Crafts podcast a long time ago, and I was literally like, oh, it's so pretty. I have to make it. And so I ordered, let's see if I can do this without getting everything tangled up. I ordered 4 colors of this yarn. It is very fuzzy because it's been smushed in a bag. Here's another color. And here is a gray. I need, let's see, I can take one of these out. I don't know what all the colorways are. This is Valley Yarns Charlemont. It's all fingering weight yarn. Merino, silk, and nylon, 60-20-20. So these are the 4 colors. Let's see if I can hold them. You can even see the shine. That's from the silk. Oh, so beautiful. So beautiful. So I'm going to put these back in here very carefully so that they don't get tangled up again. I started on this, and I don't really love to have more than one knitting project on the go at a time. So I started this right before I started making 8 hats last year. So this kind of got put on hold, and then I was pattern testing that cowl, so I haven't picked this up. But I made this, I got through this much of it before I put it down. As you can see, it is gorgeous. I love it, love it, love it, love it. I love everything about it. I have made a couple of mistakes on a couple of the yarn overs, and it's still just a baby little shawl. I am using, of course, my ChiaoGoo red lace. These are from my interchangeable set. 3.25 millimeter needles. The yarn is beautiful. I specifically wanted to work on this pattern, not just because it was gorgeous, but because I want to work on my purling. I really, really need to practice that. I'm not good. My tension is not good on purling. And I was like, on a giant shawl like this, all stockinette, except that you have to purl every other row, will definitely improve my purling. But of course, have I touched it? No. I really, really want to, though. It's beautiful. Ooh, let me put the pattern back in the bag, or I will have no clue what I'm doing. So I need to get on that. Let's see. Here's 1. 2 more projects, and then we are done. With the WIP basket, I still have other stuff to talk about. Oh my gosh, you guys. Clearly, my WIP basket is full of fuzz. I need to like take this thing outside and shake it upside down. Because it's been sitting next to the couch for so long, it's just like dust clouds. This is a super super cute Where's Waldo bag that was made by a viewer of this podcast who made a bunch of them to donate for prizes at the beginning of last year, and I gave them all away. She said I could keep some if I wanted, but I wanted to donate as many to prizes as possible, so I just couldn't let this tiny little Where's Waldo bag go. And living in here is something that hasn't even been started or wound up, but it will be eventually. It is the Angel Face Turban by Amy Appel. I saw that Elizabeth of the Crochet Cakes podcast made this, or was making this, and immediately I was like, I have to make that. Like, I need this in my life. And I knew what yarn it was going to be because I had bought, oh, it's so pretty, one skein of the fiber seed at my local yarn store in their Sprout sock. It is 90% merino wool and 10% nylon, and this is the colorway Interstellar. Oh, it's so gorgeous. I knew it had to be this. It just had to be. It hasn't even been wound up because, again, I really only wanted one knitting project on the go at a time, and I wanted to finish that shawl before I started this, but then I got distracted and never even barely made progress on the shawl. In fact, it has been so long that this yarn has been in a bag, at least a year, that this pattern has been updated. It doesn't even look like this anymore. This is what it looks like now. And so I printed this one off, and then one that looked like this, and then 2 more weeks ago, that was months ago I printed this off. 2 more weeks ago, I got another pattern update that was like changing a line in the pattern. So this pattern has been updated twice in the time it's been sitting in this bag. So this one's going in here, the new pattern. This is gonna get thrown away because it's the old one. I don't know, Where's Waldo is a good description for this project bag because it hasn't been started. No one even knows it exists. Someday. And then the final, I need like a vacuum for the air right now. The final project is living in this beautiful Santa bag that Ella from the No Catchy Name Crochet podcast sent to me a long time ago, and she makes beautiful bags. You can get them on Etsy. They're so reasonably priced, and a lot of them come with notions pouches, etc. And on the inside it's like Christmassy. So the reason that this project is living in this bag is because it fits so perfectly, but this is probably, I just need to frog it. I really do think I need to frog it. So it was a corner to corner project. I'll show you what's in here. There is a bunch of random notes. There is Karen Simply Soft in blue, black, more blue, red, and then a whole mess of little bobbiny balls. Because, oh no, I'm dropping them. Because this is a corner to corner project. It's got 2 attached to it. And this is how much I have done. It's a blanket. It was going to be a baby blanket design, a corner to corner baby blanket design. I love it. It's like a pixelated heart, and I'll even show you. I'd have to remake the graph because my computer got wiped and unfortunately I lost it, but I have a picture at least. That was what it was supposed to look like. I don't know. I can't be bothered to finish it. I have picked it up and worked a couple of rows on it here and there, and it just doesn't make me happy to work on it. Like, I love what it looks like, but I just hate working on it so much. So I think I'm gonna frog it because I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with the ends. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do a graph again. And clearly I don't want to do it because it's been over a year since I have worked on this. And I would like my project bag back. This is a nice sweater-sized project bag. So I'm gonna frog it. Don't comment and tell me not to frog it because by the time you see this, it will already have been frogged. It's going in the frog pile right now. Ooh, I'll save the graph just in case someday, somehow, I want to do something. Was that enough WIPs for you? That was my Area 51 UFO sighting. What's in my WIP basket? I do have just a couple of things to show you. Well, 2 packages to show you of some things that came in the mail since the last time we saw each other. And they are very, very delightful. And I would just love to share them with you. So first of all, Claudia of the Crochet Ludo podcast, and of course I'm linking her pins down below. She said she had a bunch of new pins going out, and would I like one for a prize, and possibly like which one would I like for myself. And so I was like, yes. So I picked out this one as a prize. It says crafting for a cause for the Spread the Warmth Now make along. And she actually sent me 3 pins. So there's crafting for a cause, there is good yarn vibes, and crochet love. So these will be in the prize pile for the Spread the Warmth make along. And you didn't have to send me all of this, Claudia. She's the sweetest person. She also sent me some for myself. Some tea, a lollipop. This is the pin I requested for myself. It says Crochet Clan. I've been dying for one of these. She also sent crochet and knitting, love for all. Hopefully you can see that. A crafting for a cause, and a crochet love in a little bag. That's what they all came in. So thank you, Claudia. You did not have to send me a million pins. You're the nicest person. Claudia's the best. You guys, you need to go buy her pins. I'm not just saying that. She's not asking me to say that. She is a dear, sweet, wonderful person, and she is amazing. And I think that you should support her, not only because she's fabulous, but because she makes amazing art for crocheters. Also, Rosina of the Zines and Roger podcast sent me a copy of her Grainbow shawl, which is kind of a triangle. Here's some more photos. Triangle type shawl with stripes. And she had asked for testers a while back, and I was really tempted to volunteer, but like I knew I would not be able to do it in time, so I didn't volunteer, as per usual. And then randomly, she sent me a copy of it. So when I'm done with the Just Feel Better shawl, I want to find some yarn and make that for another friend who is kind of in a similar situation. So I would like to make 2 shawls. Is that going to happen? I don't know. Eventually, yes. In time for the end of April? I don't know. So, I got a package in the mail that I like didn't even know what to do with it. There's so much stuff in here. And on the front it says Happy Mail with a smiley face. This came from the UK. And it came from a lovely person who I communicated with a little bit on Instagram. And she is a watcher of this podcast. And her name is Lydia. Hi, Lydia. And she was like, she like heard about my sock plight with that ridiculous yarn. And she was like, I just want to like send you a couple of things. Is that okay? And I was like, sure. A couple of things. Okay. Look at this. It's a whole box of things. A whole box. This is like getting a fiber share package, I assume. I've never done fiber share because I can never like afford to buy a bunch of yarn. And then mail it to a person, although maybe next year I can afford to do that if I plan a little bit better. But I was not expecting this. This is like the coolest package. So I'm just gonna pull things out and we're gonna go through them. So there's a little Notions pouchy type bag, which actually it's flat but it expands like this, and it's got metal closures at the top. So I'm thinking this may be like a crochet hook carrier for me, because it seems like it's big enough. A beautiful little notebook. It says set your mind on things above. And it's got a couple of scripture verses that she wrote in there for me. And then of course some lined pages, which was really sweet of you. There is so much yarn. There is cold infusion tea. Yay! So excited. There is Hufflepuff yarn and a Hufflepuff pin. I don't know what in the world to do with this. Maybe make a hat. I don't know. Maybe make Hufflepuff socks? I can't, you guys. I'm so excited. There's a mini. This is easyknits.co.uk, knit with color. It is a 20 gram, 80 meter mini. It's like this beautiful teal. And then there is all of this sock yarn. So there's Regia 4-ply. I'm assuming the colorway is 5025. I don't know. I've never used Regia, so I'm actually really, really excited about this. I have heard nothing but good things about how hard wearing this yarn is. This is a Drops Delight sock wool, which is 75/25 wool and nylon. So that is super cool. This is sock yarn as well. She told me what kind it was, I'm pretty sure, in her card, but now I don't remember. But it's definitely a self-striping. Great. There is a whole handful of these little nuggets. They're like mini minis. They're so cute. Woo! Let me see if I can do this without dropping them all. I don't think I can. Like, they're little bitty yarn nuggets. This one's really sparkly. You can tell. There's this. I don't know what I'm gonna use those for, but they're so cute. I may put them in a jar and like use them as decoration until I know what to do with them. There is a little thing of soak. More cold infused tea. So this is passion fruit, mango, and blood orange. And the package is watermelon, strawberry, and mint. So cool. There's warm tea. I believe she said this is her favorite kind, cranberry and blood orange. I have never had anything like this, so I will be happy to drink it. There is so much chocolate, which I have been dying to eat, but I gave up sugar for Lent, so I can't eat it until Easter, but that's totally fine because it will be there. It will be there for me. There's chocolate bars. Ooh, and another one, an Oreo one. There's a whole bag of Bitsa Wispa. I don't know what that is. I'm assuming they're like little nougat, chocolatey nougat things. And then there's some Cadbury caramels. So much chocolate. Random teas. That's not all. There's still more in here. Are you guys amazed? I am amazed. There is two pins and a little card from Sugar and Sloth. So this one says, I am loved. And this one is a sloth on a donut. Totally adorable. These I thought were super cool. They're little mini canvases that you can color with like markers, and then you have like a painting. How cool is that? I just need to get some markers. It kind of reminds me of, if you're a child of the 90s, you will know Lisa Frank and her velvet paintings that you could color in and then like hang on your wall. This is what that reminds me of, except tiny. So that's super exciting. Then there is some fabric to make bags with. This is Star Wars fabric, so yes. And then there is super cute like little animals, polka dots, flowers, and more animals. Also, some stitch markers. See if I can do this without spilling everything. Apparently I am incapable of doing that. There is a little sweater, a sparkly little sweater. There is, I really like this, an ice cream cone, which this is kind of looks like a Shrinky Dink or something. Did you make this? And then a little tiny pin. There's some, of course, locking stitch markers. You can never have too many of those. That says, you're not gonna be able to read this, but it says crochet is not a hobby, it's a post-apocalyptic life skill. Yes, so true. There is a bag. It's like a plastic shopping bag, but it's knit stitches. How fun is that? And some sticky notes. which I'll be using these in patterns so I don't forget my place. And then finally, a skein of Kate Celine yarn, Lady Gutter Sparkles. It doesn't say the colorway, but it's 100 grams. And it is so sparkly. It's amazing. So, are you as overwhelmed as I am? Because that is a heck of a lot of stuff. I thank you so much, Lydia. This is like amazing. And it was just, I was like blown away. This is the best thing. I also ordered a little, if you hang on one second, I have to show it to you because you won't believe me. Okay, because it's in my purse. That's why I didn't have it. I ordered from Ella of No Catchy Name. She made this. It is like a crochet hook case, but I was using it for, I've been wanting to use it for my sunglasses. Look at what it does. How crazy is that? There's like a metal fixture in here, and you just push it, and then my sunglasses fall out. I got it to protect my sunglasses. You can see that before I had it, there's a giant scuff mark. So I probably need to get a new pair, but I've been putting them in this and closing my purse so that they do not get ruined any more than they are. And when I get a new pair, it doesn't get ruined. So she had those up in her shop. I don't know if she has any left right now, but I think she'll be making some more. And she also sent me this cute little card, and this. It says, if you can't read it, Caffeine Fiend, and it's a stitch marker. So that was super funny as well. And I'm just surrounded by so much yarn right now. I don't know what to do with myself. It's like the best thing ever. I can't wait to make socks with all of that yarn, Lydia. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the Hufflepuff yarn, but it's gonna be amazing, I can guarantee you. And I need to get some markers so I can color that stuff. And I need to go have some blood orange tea right now while I am editing this. So that's episode 50, you guys. Can you believe it's episode 50? Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of this crafting community, for coming back all the time and watching these episodes. It's amazing. I'm gonna have some exciting stuff to share with you going forward. I actually am getting a logo made. I know, so fancy. It's not quite done. It's almost done. They told me I could have unlimited revisions, so I'm sure I irritated them so much because I was like, well, if I can have unlimited revisions, then I want you to change this and this and this and this. But it's almost ready. So I'll have that by the next time I podcast. And don't forget to put your finished objects in the Spread the Warmth Mal finished objects thread and to keep chattering away, because in the finished objects thread, every 50 entries will get another prize opportunity for everyone. So make sure that you are participating in that. I will see you guys in 2 weeks. And until I see you again, happy crafting, and be nice to yourself. Okay? Okay. Bye!